me crazy if I didn't hold your hand. Cause no matter where I go, I never, ever, ever go without you. I just couldn't do it, no, I wouldn't get through it. Trying to rock without you's like an engine with no fluid. I crash and I burn and I die without you.
To the Nicole Mason Show. Today, this is a special edition for us. This is not our regularly scheduled time. You know that's on Tuesdays from 4 to 5. But we are so excited about our guest today. We wanted to accommodate her very, very busy schedule. And so we are so delighted to have her. Now, before we go into that, let me just tell you that the Nicole Mason Show, this is the show where we feature phenomenal women who are utilizing their gifts, talents, and skills to impact the world in a great way. Well, our guest today is doing just that. This show is designed with you in mind, to motivate you, to inspire you, and most importantly, to inform you. So every show is different, and so I encourage you to keep up with us on our social media. The Facebook page, Nicole Sharon Mason, it's listed there. The show page, which is the Nicole Mason Show, and our website, theNicoleMasonShow.com, for all of our upcoming guests. And so today we are super duper excited that our guest is none other than the fabulous Dr. Jasmin Jazz Sculark. Dr. Jasmin Jazz Sculark, the daughter of Thunder, is a native of the island of Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Jazz is the senior pastor of Jericho City of Praise in Landover, Maryland, and the founder and president of Dr. Jazz Ministries. She is nationally and internationally known as pastor, teacher, author, and evangelist that God has chosen to use to do a mighty work in this 21st century. Her preaching invitations include Shaw University, Howard University School of Divinity, Dillard University, and the Hamptons Ministers Conference. She has preached in the United Kingdom, Nigeria, West Africa, the Bahamas, and her native Trinidad and Tobago, to name just a few. In the summer of 2013, she was invited to be a speaker for Bishop T.D. Jakes' world-renowned MegaFest conference in Dallas, Texas. And again at Woman Thou Art Loosed in 2012 in Atlanta, Georgia. In September of 2014, Dr. Jazz was also installed as the senior pastor of Jericho City of Praise in Landover, Maryland. One who shows herself to be approved, Dr. Jazz was licensed to preach the gospel in 1992. 7 years later, in 1999, she was ordained at Mount Olivet Baptist Church in Columbus, Ohio. She is a graduate of the Practical Bible College in Vestal, New York, and the Washington Bible College in Lanham, Maryland. She received her master's in theological studies from the Trinity Lutheran Seminary in Columbus, Ohio, and her Doctor of Ministry degree from the United Theological Seminary in Dayton, Ohio. Dr. Jazz is the recipient of numerous awards and recognitions, including her nomination by the African American Pulpit Judson Press publication as one of the 20 young preachers to watch in the new millennium. In 2010, Dr. Jazz received the Gardner C. Taylor Distinguished Preaching Award and was featured in the Gardner C. Taylor Distinguished Preaching Series. Dr. Jazz's life's goal and mission is to encourage, equip, and empower the world through the written and spoken word. True to her namesake, Daughter of Thunder, Dr. Jazz's preaching and teaching ministry makes a thunderous sound in the earth and in the minds and hearts of those who come in contact with her ministry. Dr. Jazz has published her first book, Dancing with Broken Bones, which was a bestseller, and will be releasing her sophomore book project in March 2015. Dr. Jazz is looking forward to all that God has in store for the ministry that lies within her. Dr. Jazz serves as a 21st century Esther, a woman for such a time as this. After this short break, we're going to come back and we'll be talking with Dr. Jazz, the Daughter of Thunder. Stay tuned.
Come on, come on. God called you to speak everything that you're wanting to see. Answered prayers are yours if you only have faith and belief. By His word, I'm creating my world. Today I can freely proclaim. 'Cause I spoke it, I can see it. I'll obtain it, declaring new life today. Speak a word of healing. Speak a word of deliverance. Speak a word of favor. Proclaim it, possess it. Peace and favor rest on us. God called you to speak. To speak. That you wanted to see. Answer prayers are yours. You have some faith. You only have faith to believe.
All right, thank you all so much. We are super excited to welcome the powerful, the wonderful, the awesome Dr. Jasmin, Dr. Jazz Sculark to the Nicole Mason Show. Woohoo! You there, Dr. Jazz?
I am live and living color. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
Amen. So thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I know your schedule is so busy, and so we certainly want to do whatever we needed to do to accommodate your schedule. So I hear that you have this awesome conference coming up, and certainly we're in the midst of Women's History Month, and certainly wanted to thank you for joining us for this month. Tell us about this conference that you have coming up and how you created it and what people can expect if they attend.
Wonderful. Thanks for this opportunity. Of course, I pastor the Jericho City of Praise in Landover, Maryland, and our ministry is called Women of Power. And as we're looking at what God is doing in the lives of women and what He's about to do, even in greater capacity to women, I decided this year to launch my women's conference at the Jericho City of Praise, and the theme is I've got the power, from Acts chapter 1, verse 8, and you shall receive power after the Holy Ghost has come upon you. And Elder, I came up with that theme because for many years, I as a believer did not know the capacity or the power that lied within me. I was running around powerless, trying to find power outside of myself, trying to get people to do what God has already equipped and empowered me to do. And one of the things I've learned as I travel all across the nation is that women have not tapped into or realized the power that is within them. And so this conference is to educate, it's to equip, it's to enhance, it's to encourage women to tap into the supernatural power that's already resided in them in the presence of the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and you know, I appreciate your transparency, and that's one of the things that I believe, or one of the reasons I believe that your ministry is so powerful, and others like my co-pastor, Dr. Susie Owens, and others, you know, when you're transparent and honest just about the journey that you've taken. And so I really appreciate that. You have a powerful lineup of speakers. So talk a little bit about your speakers so we can whet the appetite of those who are listening and those who are watching.
Absolutely. Of course, the conference is March the 26th through the 28th, and all of the information can be found on the JerichoWomenOfPower.org. But I've got some of major preachers and teachers who will be blessing us. Of course, I've got some pastors and preachers from the D.C. area. Dr. Joanne Browning from Ebenezer AME is going to be doing an amazing workshop. Bishop Millicent Hunter from Philadelphia, who the Lord used to tremendously impact my life years ago with that amazing book entitled Don't Die in the Winter, Your Season is Coming.
Yes.
Then there's Bishop Rosie O'Neill. I call her, she's the sleeping giant. She's from North Carolina, but this sister got something awesome going on. Bishop Rosie O'Neill, a powerhouse in her own right. Her ministry is called Cornelia. And then Dr. Lisa Way from Baltimore, Maryland. And she's a powerful preacher and teacher, and some of the workshops that we've got going on is power cord, recharge. How can we recharge? Because many times as women, we're always taking care of everybody else, but we don't take the time to recharge. I've got a workshop called Unstoppable, because when God is for you, you may be delayed but not denied. Then I got a workshop called Flawless, because so many times we as women, you know, we got everything going on the inside, but we don't have anything going on the outside. We holy, but we look homely.
Oh,
and
Jesus!
It's making sure that that holy and homely is a good combination.
Yes.
And then we have a panel. I'm excited about this panel because it's Powernomics. You know, it's one thing for you to have the Holy Ghost and to speak in tongues, but you got to make sure that you manage your finance, your money right, and manage your relationships right. So we got a special workshop, and I'm so excited. Congresswoman Edwards is going to be here. The state attorney also Brooks is going to be here. Ambassador Susan Johnson, former ambassador, is going to be on the panel. We just got a major lineup, and we seeking to just have women charge and power up and ready to go.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we had the flyer up while you were talking, Dr. Jazz, so that the viewers can see that this conference is taking place next weekend, March 26th through the 28th. I absolutely love all of the workshops that you all are going to be having, and you have some powerhouse speakers coming in, and it's just going to be an awesome time in the Lord. You can certainly look that up on the Jericho City of Praise website. And so this women's conference, you're also going to be having some evening sessions as well. So tell us a little bit about that and who'll be preaching, because this is the time that the men can join us at the conference.
Absolutely. So it starts off on March the 26th on Thursday night. Of course, you can come in at 9 a.m. and register and pick up all your things. And let me say, we've got about 23 different states represented. Women
Wow.
coming as far as Seattle, Washington, Dallas, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, St. Louis. 23 states will be dropping in the DMV area next week. And the service starts on Thursday night. And Dr. Lisa will be preaching on Thursday night. And the guest psalmist is Miss Lucretia Campbell.
Oh, wow.
And then Friday night, of course, yours truly, I'll be kicking off on Friday night. And we're excited about that. And Miranda Wilson is our guest psalmist on that night. And so the men are welcome on the Thursday night. It starts at 7 p.m. Friday night, 7 p.m. So men are invited to that service. In fact, that service is open to everybody on Thursday night and Friday night.
Excellent. Okay. And so now you're having a very special session for pastors and ministers, which is very, very important. Talk about that special session that you're having.
Yeah, for many years as I was traveling all over the country, I have always been looking for a mentor. I was looking for women to pour into me, to make sure I get ready for the next move and the next level and the next dimension.
Right.
And I got frustrated because women who got through the open doors or got to those seats that was, I call them power seats, never reach back out and pour back into anybody. It's a tragedy. Men do a better job of it.
Yes.
They pass on their truths and their revelation. But I was always trying to get involved or get connected with some women, and few women like your pastor, co-pastor Susie Owens and Pastor Joanne Brown, and few women really pulled me under their wings and taught me the don'ts and the do's and how to wait on the Lord and stuff like that. And so I made up my mind years ago. I told God, if you ever put me in a powerful place and put me on a powerful platform, I don't want to be the only woman in the room. And by looking at my resume and following my ministry, that in the last 3 years, God has put me in some unbelievable places. From last year preaching 4 times at the Potter's House for Bishop T.D. Jakes, and then preaching at Woman Thou Art Loose, and then preaching at Mega Fest, and on my way back to preach for Bishop at the Potter's House, and getting in that room that I can be able to sit next to him and to glean and to get as much as I possibly can from him. And what I learned in that room is, listen, you can have the anointing and you can be a powerful preacher, but if you don't have what Bishop called a machine behind you, you're not going to go anywhere. And for years, I tell young preachers, I didn't wait till I get to a platform to have a powerful message. I already had the message. I just didn't have the machine to go behind the message. And when I left Woman Down Loose and Mega Fest, I learned that was not just a platform, but it was a place that God was propelling me to also pour back into women. How do you manage that kind of platform? Now I've got 30,000 people following me on Twitter, and it's climbing, thousands of people on Facebook. The demands for me preaching from all over this country, from Ghana to every part of Africa you can think about. So I wanted to take some time in this session to pour back into young women ministers about some things that I learned from the last 18 years of ministry, the last 11 years pastoring. But what I learned when I got in that room with Bishop Jakes, I'll tell you a quick story. When I got to the Potter's House, and after I finished preach, somebody said to me, Dr. Jazz, it's your time to take your picture with Bishop Jakes. And I said, I don't want a picture. And he looked at me and he put everybody out of the room. He said, if you don't want a picture, what do you want? And I said, I want you to give me an opportunity. I want you to drop me in the middle of the earth so I can make a sound for God. And he asked me the question. He said, are you ready? And I said, I believe I am. Well, my session at my conference is, if you were to get in the room with Bishop Jakes, and you get that opportunity, are you ready? What are the things that needs to be in place before you get to that platform and get to that door and get to that room? And so that's what I want to share with them, do an impartation, because so many young women and men also always ask me, man, what do you do after you get off that platform? How do you handle that level of opportunity? And I want to share that with women.
Wow. That's a whole lot right there, just in that short period of time. And so when he says, when you talk about the machine, explain a little bit about what that is. What does that mean?
Yeah, you know, you can have the message, but if you don't have the right methodology, Bishop always said you are irrelevant if you are irrelevant as a preacher if you're not on social media. Yeah. You are already left behind.
Right.
If you as a preacher don't have a Twitter, a Facebook, or Instagram, and you can stay in the room till and pray, but we know that the kingdom, the Bible says, the kingdom is advanced really through relationships. That how we manage the relationships that we interact with or engage with people is absolutely important. And so that's what my session for young women particularly is. Okay, I know you got the message, but how is your brand, and how do you strengthen your brand? So from branding to networking to also some things in terms of message. What kind of message when you stand up? The delivery of the message is important. It's not just what you say, but how you say it. And so all of those things, and then having your dream team. You know, when Jesus went up on the Mount of Transfiguration, you know that he had 11 disciples, but he only took 3 on the mount. He took Peter, James, and John. And those 3 represent something unique in everybody's life. You're not ready to go to that mountaintop until you have found your Peter, James, and John. Of course, you know Peter means rock. You need somebody who is solid as a rock. You know John loves you unconditionally. You need somebody to love you unconditionally that will even tell you the truth when it hurts.
Right.
And then the third person is James. And James is the person who's called the committed disciples. Well, you know, Elder, when Jesus got on the mountain, he took Peter, James, and John with him. But when he got up on the mountain, guess who showed up? Moses and Elijah, right? And right, so 2 represents the past, Moses and Elijah,
right.
And then you got 3 that represents the present. Well, Elder, every person who's on their way to somewhere need a Fab Five.
Woo.
So Stop telling me you got 10,000 people in your contact list or 10,000 people on Twitter. Do you have your Fab Five? If you remember years ago when that wonderful basketball player Dwayne Wade had this commercial with Charles Barkley, and Charles would call and say, Dwayne, am I in your Fab Five? Am I in your Fab Five? And so you need to have 3, Peter, James, and John, but you need 2 older people. My 2 older people, Elijah and Moses, is people who've been where I'm trying to go.
Right.
Because one of the revelations you've learned in ministry is nobody will ever be intimidated by you if they've already climbed their own mountain.
Ooh, that's tweetable right there.
Yeah. See, the only people who are ever going to be intimidated by you is people who have not climbed the mountain. That's why out of all the people that could have visited Jesus on that mountain, look who the 2 people were, Moses and Elijah. Well, you know, Elder, Moses climbed Mount Sinai. Elijah climbed Mount Carmel. So they're not intimidated that Jesus is on his way to climb Mount Calvary. Because when you climb your own mountain, you are never intimidated by the new kid on the block.
Listen, y'all better register for this conference. Woo! Yeah, that's powerful in and of itself. Itself. You got to have your Fast Five, and you need those that if you're not going to be intimidated if you've already climbed your own mountain. That's tweetable.
Right. You know, when I was on my way to Woman Down Loose and coming off of the stage, the person who I rely heavily on was your co-pastor Susie Owen. And of course, I got to give a shout out to both co-pastor Susie Owens and Bishop Owens.
Yes.
So I could have had a birthday celebration
Yep.
this weekend because, listen, the only way I got to meet Bishop Jakes was through the Owens.
That's
I was
right.
trying all years to try to get in the room, and
Yep.
I'm finally in the room with Bishop Jakes and all these other pastors. And Bishop Owens comes over to Bishop Jakes with a peach cobbler in his hand, and before he put a piece of peach cobbler in his mouth, he said, Bishop Jakes, have you met Dr. Jan? And that's how it all began. So co-pastor Owens and Bishop Owens got me in the room. They are my Moses and Elijah. And co-pastor had no problem getting me in the room because she'd been to Mega Fest. She preached a woman that do. She's been there.
Yes. Yeah, that's powerful. I love them so much. They have been a tremendous blessing in my life and in the lives of my family members. So I know that spirit very, very well. They're wonderful people. Listen, Dr. Jazz, tell us when that session is going to take place.
That session is going to take place on Thursday at 1 o'clock. All the information is on our website, JerichoWomenOfPower.org or JerichoCityOfPraise.org. And that session is on Thursday at 1 o'clock. And I'm excited about, I have a great group that is coming. I know it's Church Online, who will also add to how do young ministers and pastors be engaged in social media and be out on the internet. You know, I tell people I've got a church of 10,000 people already online. You know, online. And how do you engage with them? And how do you protect your brand? And how do you grow your brand as you're growing your message and your delivery? So that'll be on Thursday, on March the 26th, and all the information is on our website, JerichoWomenOfPower.org or JerichoCityOfPraise.org.
Excellent. Okay, and I know your time is wrapping up, so I have one final question. I understand that you are looking to publish your second book, and so please tell the audience about that.
Right. So, you know, my first book came out maybe 3 years ago.
Yes.
Psalms 51, where David says, allow me to hear joy and gladness, that the bones that you have broken may dance again. And so that's my first book, Dancing with Broken Bones. And my second book is coming out, and that is going to be released at my conference on March the 26th. And it's entitled Finally Me, From Pieces to Peace.
Wow.
And that come about because for years, you know, when we sit under different mentors, we try to imitate all of them. You know, when I first started off, I wanted to be the next Dr. Charles Booten, the next Bishop Hunter, and the next co-pastor Susie Owens, and all of those people are wonderful. But I realized that nobody can beat me being me.
Absolutely.
And there's a room in the kingdom for just the uniqueness of Dr. Jazz. And so while I celebrate everybody's gift and I glean from each one of them, I just come to realize if I'm going to go up or go down, I'm going to go up or down, being finally me.
Woo, I love that. I love that.
You know, I went to a great church where there's a great woman who has a rich legacy, the Apostle Betty People.
Yes.
And when I walked into that church, I honor her, we celebrate her, but I'm not the Apostle Betty People. And if I try to be the Apostle Betty People, I will fail because I was not called to be the Apostle Betty People. I was just called to be Dr. Jazz.
Yes. I love that. I love it. So listen, I want you all to go to Jericho City of Praise, JerichoWomenOfPower.org. All the information is there. The evening services are open to the public. We are so excited about this awesome opportunity to talk about this conference. And before we wrap up, Dr. Jazz, one final thing. You're going to be with us for our Super Soul Sunday. We have that flyer up on March the 29th. We are so excited that we were able to reschedule it.
Absolutely. I am looking forward to being there for Super Sunday. You know, the snow delayed us, but I always say we've been delayed, but we won't be denied. We're looking forward to being there. I'm wrapping up the conference on that night, at that church. And man, I was so disappointed when it snowed because I have a word for the house of Greater Mount Calvary. And so I'm looking forward to being there at 6 o'clock on that Super Saturday. Listen, y'all know you can, Super Sunday rather.
Yes.
And you know you can check me out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I am Dr. Jazz.
Yes. Amen. Thank you so much, Dr. Jazz. Looking forward to your session on Thursday at 1 p.m. I will be in the house, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday at Greater Mount Calvary. God bless you, and thank you so much for your time today.
No problem. God bless you also.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, thank you all so much. That was our time with Dr. Jazz. As you can imagine, her schedule was tight, and so we wanted to bring this information to you all for her upcoming conference, March 26th through the 28th. Be sure to check it out, JerichoCityOfPraise.org or JerichoWomenOfPower.org. We're going to take a short music break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
This is not the time to get distracted, and this is not the time to go off course. This is not the time to lose your focus. Got a work to do for the Lord, and you cannot afford to lose your way. You come too far from where you started. So please don't let the time you've sown be wasted on things that you'll later regret, wishing you never had. Once you realize it wasn't worth it, your destiny is too important to give up for anything. Distracted. No, no, no. This is not the time to go off course. This is not the time to lose your focus. You got a work to do for the Lord, and you cannot afford to lose your way. You come too far from where you started from. So please don't waiting on the other side of this test is everything you've ever dreamed, everything you prayed for, everything he promised you that you'd get. Waiting on the other side of temptation, waiting on the other side of this test is everything you've ever dreamed, everything you prayed for, everything he promised you that you'd get. So hold on and don't let go. Hold on, you just that close. Hold on. Just other side of this test is everything you've ever dreamed, everything you prayed for, everything he promised you.
Wow. If you missed that, you're just tuning in. You missed a powerful interview with Dr. Jazz. She was on talking about her conference, which is going to be March 26th through the 28th at the Jericho City of Praise. And it's a women's conference, and she was talking about having your Fab Five in your corner. I love that. And how others won't be intimidated by you if they have climbed their own mountain. Listen, that was a powerful interview, and I certainly want to encourage you to join her for the conference. Some of the speakers will be Bishop Millicent Hunter, and we all know her. She is a powerful woman of God. Has been preaching for many, many years, and just thank God for her trailblazing. Bishop Rosie O'Neill, she's a powerhouse, and Dr. Lisa Way. Listen, you all want to be sure to get your tickets or register, JerichoWomenOfPower.org. I am so fired up. I can't wait until that session next week. She's going to be having a very special session for pastors and ministers on that Thursday, the beginning of the conference, March 26th at 1 p.m. So if you fall into that category, please govern yourself accordingly, as they say. And so I want to wrap up our time together today, and I want to talk about something amazing that is going on in one of my other sister friends' lives, Dr. Tracy Blanchard. She is now on the Word Network, and we have that flyer. She's going to be starting her first Friday night. It's going to be this coming Friday, and I want you to tune in. And she is doing a Reviving the Nations Through Prayer. And so she has a prayer call every Saturday morning. The information is listed there on the flyer. But I want you to tune in on this coming Friday morning, 3 a.m., so that you can support her, and then every fifth Sunday. And I'm just super, super excited and so proud of her. She and I grew up together, and she is a woman after God's own heart. So tune in and join her prayer call on every Saturday morning. That's Dr. Tracy Blanchard. So excited, so excited about that. And then I also want to tell you about a conference that's going to be taking place next weekend, the 27th and the 28th. That's Pastor Lisa Vini for those who are down in the Tidewater, Virginia area. She's going to be having a very powerful conference as well, going on the second annual No More Chains Freedom Conference. Some of her guests will be Dr. Medina Pullins, who is her spiritual mother, Prophetess Aziza Morrison, Evangelist Aziza Morrison, and Prophetess Tamosa Dixon, who is a powerhouse. She's about 4 feet tall and just full of power. And so I encourage you all, for those of you who are down in that area, to register at lisavini.com. That's going to be a powerful conference. And so you have something that will edify you, enhance you next weekend as it relates to women's conferences. And I'm just so excited to share this information with you all. Listen, if you have some upcoming event that you want to showcase on the show, you certainly can go to my website and check out the sponsorship packages there, the NicoleMasonShow.com. We would love to advertise your event all over the world. We are in over 135 countries all over the U.S. Listen, if you want to get it out there, you contact me, and I'll certainly be happy to share it on my show. I am so fired up about my interview with Dr. Jazz. Short in time, but very powerful. And certainly we wanted to honor her time this afternoon and thank her so much. She and her team, her Fab Five, who helped to arrange our interview this afternoon. So with that being said, listen, tomorrow at 4, we will be back at our regularly scheduled time. I have a wonderful guest joining me tomorrow, Melinda Robertson. She is a dynamic author. She's going to be here talking about her latest work, Mistaken Identity, and she has 2 other works that she'll be talking about. So join us tomorrow at 4 p.m. Tell somebody to join you in tuning in to the Nicole Mason Show. So thank you for joining us for this very special edition of the Nicole Mason Show. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. God bless you. Have a great afternoon.
He brought me through hard trials. He brought me through tribulations. Never let a day go by and I realized had not been for the Lord who was on my side, that was against the wall, looked out for me. He heard my cry and rescued me. Never let a day go by and I realize we are blessed. Don't take it for granted that we are here today. Just know that we're blessed and highly favored. Just know that we're blessed and highly favored. Can we say that one more time? He brought me through